YouTube. Hello, it is Kyle Trezov here. So I'm working at the market today, but I thought I would make a little video because it's still quite early and I have some time. So I did turn over a card of the day, which was the card of Divine Perfection. I quite like this card. It's that there is a higher plan that we may not always see, but it doesn't mean that it's not there. And so yeah, it's about trusting in the thing that is much larger and bigger than us. Now, I think that there's a lot of what's the word? There's an ideology within spiritual communities. I think of the law of attraction, manifestation, creating things by doing all of these I don't know, other things to make, to bring into our life the things that we want. Now, I'm going to shit all over that parade. I don't know if you're allowed to swear on YouTube, but I'm going to swear on YouTube anyway. I mean, my followers, I don't. Followers is a horrible fucking word, first of all. Who wants people following them? But people who look of you or watch these. It's quite small at the moment. I'm not going to be around the bush. But it's one of those things, if one person watches and you shift or you change or you connect to them and it helps them, then whatever. And I always think that some of this stuff is also part of the service and part of the work. So I do these things when I'm called to do it because it feels like the right thing to do. Anyway, the kind of self-help, what's the word? Oh, maybe pandemic is the word because there's a whole, I don't know, there's a whole massive market for self-help and all of these ideologies that are sold to people about how you can manifest, you can attract, you can make happen, and it's kind of being pushed to people, I think, that are maybe in positions where they're wanting to shift and they're wanting to change their life. And I think that my ideology is that you're where you're meant to be, and so even these people are where they're meant to be, which is the joke. But I do think that there is divine perfection in everyone and in everything. And I think that sometimes with these ideologies, what they don't do is they don't take into account that maybe the piece of us that is God knows exactly what it is that we need. Because you can do all of these mantras, all of these affirmations, all of this law of attraction shit, right? And it may never work if that's not what your spirit or your soul needs, the experience or whatever you're asking for, essentially. And so I think it's like, I'm not saying it's a waste of time because I think if it helps you in some form, then great, wonderful, 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 wonderful. Even if it gives you peace of mind. So, and maybe on some level it might work for you. But I think that whatever is for you will not pass you. And if you're meant to have something, it will be yours. And if you're not meant to have something, it ain't going to be yours, no matter how much you sit there and try all of these law of attraction um, uh, techniques, essentially. So, once again, back to God's will. And I'll tell you the mechanics of it, yeah? This is the mechanics of it. That all of these people that are teaching, yeah, don't fucking understand, right? Your name, your conditioning, your programming, your family, your birthday. That is the thing that creates your vibration, your frequency. So everything else on top of that is an extension of who you are meant to be. Your base frequency is set when you're born. So you can try to shift it or change it or turn your vibration and your frequency into something else. It ain't gonna work. And what I'm saying to you is this, right? You can obviously, you can attune to become more of what you're meant to be, right? Which is just naturally part of the progression and trajectory of your spirit and your soul. I'm not saying that there isn't, room for you to become more yourself, but that's still part of the divine perfection of it. But to if something if listen, if you're meant to be Madonna, you're gonna be Madonna, yeah? If you are like Shirley in the middle of Kansas or Texas, right? And life ain't built you into being Madonna, it's because you ain't meant to be Madonna, right? And so when we have the law of attraction and all of these ideologies, is selling a dream and a lie that isn't true. Because unfortunately, well, it's not unfortunate because the joy is in the fact that you are exactly who you're meant to be. Not everybody needs to be Madonna, but to sell the idea that you can bring in all of these different things into your experience and create this life that may not even be in alignment with you, that's a lie. That's not true. You know, it ain't true. Because the other thing about the law of attraction, which people don't talk about, right, is how do you know what is the best thing for you? We don't always know that. We may think that we want things, but what's that thing? Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. There are people that can wish and wish and wish and wish and wish to be, I don't know, 8'2". It ain't gonna happen. There, there can be uh, times where you. I need another example, a good example. People have just walked in. It's distracted me. You may think that you want that career. Prime example, there would have been a point where I would have given my right arm to be a music artist and tour around the world, yeah? And I'm quite a good singer, I write music, whatever. Now you couldn't pay me to have that life. If I'd have got that, I would have been desperately unhappy. But I thought that was what I needed and what I wanted. And the reason I wanted that was because of a lack space within myself. So I'm glad that something bigger than me did not allow that to happen, because that's not who I'm meant to be and what I'm meant to do. So this is what I mean. You know, we have blind spots of what we think we want and where or why we want them. Now I'm not saying that, once again, that's not part of God, because it is, but how much easier would life be if we took away the parts of ourselves that are trying to do all of these things to manifest and create our life, and just go, it's working how it's meant to be. I'm turning into who I'm meant to be. I'm growing into who I'm meant to be. I'm doing what I'm meant to do. Maybe I need to trust in God, you know? And that, the I think that the issue with that is that it, I don't want to shit on anybody's parade, in the sense of, like, if you've had a dream to be something from a young age, you know, it's nice to have dreams. It's nice to be inspired, but I also think that it's good to be practical and realistic, and also know your strengths, and to find your spirit and your soul and be okay with that. And that is a gift, because if somebody is running around, trying to be this thing, and it just isn't who they're meant to be, there comes to a point where it's like, you know part of their process is accepting exactly who they are in their entirety. And once again, like I said, sometimes all of this manifestation, creation, law of attraction ideology, it doesn't permit that space, because people are, maybe trying to, in their individualistic experience, bring into their reality things that are not in alignment with the piece of them that is God. But then they'll see that, and that's part of the trajectory. That's the joke. That's the cosmic joke. I'm not gonna what's the word, not paint the entire totality of the picture. And so when I talk about these spiritual gurus, teachers, they don't tell you this in its entirety. They're just showing you little bits. Yes, we're vibrational beings. Yes, things come in because of what we're in resonance with. Yes, all of that is true, right? But maybe we don't have to try so hard to make it all happen. So, hola. So, on that wonderful, beautiful note, I am going to go. Um, yeah. So, remember that all is good, all is God, all is love. Until we connect again soon in a bit.